Hi everyone, Amber here from Majestic. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're on month 3 of Cotton Cut's Fall 2025 Puzzle Mystery Quilt. Under the Sea, I am sewing up Davy Jones Locker in the large size. We have 3 different sections today. So our first section is here. This is our 3A. We will have 2 of them. Our second section is this one. This is 3B. We will also have 2 of them. And our last section is here, 3C, and we will have 2 of these as well. So we are going to have 6 different smaller blocks for this month. I hope you are enjoying the Puzzle Mystery Quilt. If you like my tutorials, please consider giving me a thumbs up or subscribing. It helps my channel grow. I appreciate it so much. Let me know in the comments, are you enjoying this? I cannot wait to keep continuing this, and I hope you're having as much fun as I am. Enjoy the tutorial. All right, so I have for month 3, I have my instructions here. I have everything laid out already. I have done a live for each of the blocks already. So if you see me using up my fabric, that is why. I've been doing 1 month tutorial and then 1 month live sewing up my blocks for Under the Sea. I also have my color card here to reference. So we are going to start with our 3A. We need 2 sections, so I'm going to be doing 1 for the video. I need my large B triangle and 2 small D triangles. So I'm just going to lay them out here. I was just double checking because this is kind of like a large space of orange, but the ghost is kind of cut off here. All right. And I have my 7010 needle, my Gutermann thread, so I am good to go. And I always start on the right hand side, so I'm just lining up the right hand side first. And I apologize if, as I'm sewing, you hear funny noises when I enhance the voice on, like when I'm putting the video together. Sometimes it thinks that the sewing machine is me talking. That's true. Okay, and for flying geese, we have to press these open before we sew our second side, or otherwise our seam here will be showing. Okay, just giving that a nice press, and then my left hand side here. And you can clip or pin these. I just hold them when they are smaller pieces. Okay, and same thing here. Be pressing this open to the left. I like to just press from the front first and then gently fold these open, making sure I'm not tugging on them, so that way they do not warp. Okay, that is step 1. Going to set it here to the side. Now we have step 2, which is another flying geese. I need another large B triangle. And on the top left, I need an F, a small F triangle, which is our fabric with the crow on it. And to the right, I need a small C triangle, which is this pinkish purple fabric with the potions, it looks like, for us. Okay, put my right hand side, right sides together. Again, just making sure that these are lined up. Because they're die cut, they just line up so perfectly. And just like we did in step 1, I'm pressing open to the right first. And then the left-hand side here. I like making flying geese, especially when they're using different fabrics. I just like a variety of the fabrics being used at once. I'm trying to remember to backstitch at the beginning of the end of piecing. I always do it in bag making. When I first started quilting, I learned that you didn't have to, but I've had quite a few long armors say that they like it. It makes it less likely that your pieces are going to come unstitched. So I've been trying to backstitch when I remember. Okay, so this is our step 2. Right, so now we're on this side, our step 3. I need a B rectangle in the middle. And then it says I need to rotate step 1 and join it on the right hand side. And I need to rotate step 2 to the left and add it to the left, and I'll know that I've done it correctly because all my bee fabrics are touching and it's like making an arrow to the left or the right. I always match up in my picture, and I'm just going to start on the right hand side. Again, it should match up perfectly because the length of that larger triangle is the same length as our rectangle. You can clip it. Because I'm not matching up seams, I'm not going to clip mine. Okay. Okay, and I am going to pay attention to the way that we are pressing our seams. We are pressing them to the left towards that center B rectangle. So I'm just going to give it a good press from this back side and then gently open it up. And as the pieces get bigger, I really want to make sure that I am not accidentally tugging them and warping them. So now we're going to do the same exact thing for this left side. Put them right sides together. Set. And again, they should match up, line up perfectly. And we'll stitch this too. Move. Okay. And be pressing this to the left as well. Okay, we just set this to the side. Now our step 4, I need an E square, which is our vampire kitty fabric, and a D square, which is our orange fabric. And I'm just going to put them right sides together. They're both squares, no seams to match up. So again, they match up perfectly. It's my favorite part about cotton cuts. Everything's cut for you, so I don't have to worry. I know when I cut things myself that it's so easy for the fabric to slip and the pieces not be so precise. Okay, and for this one, you are pressing your seams down towards your D square. Good. And so our last step for our 3A section, we are adding this to the left of our step 3. So I'm just going to bring this other piece right down here, and we are adding it. And you can see that I have a center seam here, and I have the point of the triangle. So I'm going to put them right sides together and then turn it so I can kind of flip them and see. And I'm going to line up that center seam with that point of the triangle. And I'm going to put a clip there and then clip the rest of my fabrics. This way that hopefully matches. And you can see that up here, I have a little bit of an overhang. I'm not worried about that. It will get hidden in the seam allowances. I really want that point to match up. So that was my focus.
Is that what you said?
Okay, and this one here, we are pressing it out to the left. Press the back and then gently open this up. And I'm so happy the point of my triangle matches up with my seam. So to me, that's the most important part. Some people trim their blocks. I do not recommend trimming them. When we put our quilt together, you can see that this is kind of higher than the two edges. So I will just kind of hide that in my seam allowance later on. So this finishes up our 3A block, and you should have 2 of these. So now we're moving on to our 3B block. We have 2 of them as well. They are a little bit bigger than our 3A. I've already made one. So for our directions here, I will be cutting all these numbers in half. But if you're doing both blocks at once, you want to make sure you're following that number. So for me, I need a C square and a D square, and we need 8 of them, so I am going to do 4 of them. Our C square is the pinkish fabric if you are doing the same colorway as me. This up. And then our D fabric is that bright orange. So the C is on the left. The D fabric is on the right. Oh, I actually need 4. I don't know why I was putting out 3. So I'll have 1 more off to the side here. Okay, and I am going to chain stitch these, meaning that I'm not going to cut my thread between them. I'm going to sew all 4 at the same time. So just lining them up and bringing them over to my machine. Okay, so here I didn't cut my thread. That's what I mean about chain stitching them. It's nice because if you have a problem with your fabrics getting stuck in your feed dogs, these fabrics kind of act like a leader and help pull the fabric through. I also like when patterns offer this because it is quick. So if you are in a time crunch, it's nice when you can sew them at once.
Well,
Okay, and now this is where I trim them all apart from each other. And we are going to be pressing all of these to our D fabric side, which is the orange fabric. Again, I always press the back side and then open them up gently. And you can see for the directional fabric, I have just put them either way because we never know how our final pieces are going to come together in our quilt. So anytime I'm using directional in a Cotton Cuts puzzle mystery quilt, I just always vary the orientation. And actually in our next step, we're going to sew these together and you'll see how they are already going to get flipped around. Okay, so for our step 2, we are combining them. I need the top part to have CD and then the bottom to be DC. And the way we've pressed our seams is going to be perfect. They're going to nest together. So here's my 2 different blocks. And I'm also going to chain stitch them. But what I'm going to do first is just put them right sides together. And our seams should nest because we press them opposite directions when we have flipped them around. So I am going to clip my seam first. Sometimes they wiggle on me as I'm sewing. I'm hoping that is not the case. And then match up the rest of the edge.
so I do separate.
When I get to the seam, sometimes my sea dogs want to like flip the seam around, so I kind of just make sure that it didn't get pushed going in the opposite direction.
Good questions.
And I'm not going to pull that out. I'm going to do the same thing here and sew these both at the same time. So I'm just nesting my seam.
I think I think. But up, we and this like shit.
And for both of these, I want to press them. So my D square, which is the orange, is in the top right, and our seams are going to be pressed up. So I know if I'm pressing from the back, I have my orange here. So when I open it, right, and that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the seam matching up. Okay, and then the same thing for this one here. And then gently pressing open. And I'm going to set them to a side because we don't need them quite yet. Okay, for step 3, you're going to be making 4, so I will be making 2. I need 2 F triangles, which are the ones with the crows on it for me. And I need 2 small A triangles, which are the ones that have the ghosts on it. So I just want to be very mindful because in this colorway, they do look similar to me because of the background colors. I'm going to sew them both at once. So just making sure that I match them up.
Good luck.
And the same for this one here.
Let's get back to the touch the toy like that.
I especially like stitching triangles together, like as a chain stitch, because that point, you can see here where it really wants to get sucked down into my feed dogs a lot. So it's helpful when I'm sewing more than one. Okay, and so for both of these, we are pressing them to the top left, which is our crow fabric. Okay, doing both of these at once. I'm not going to move them aside because we are going to need them for our next step. But I am going to put them side by side to make space. And now for step 4, I need to attach a small A triangle. I keep saying triangle. A small A square to the bottom of each. And you'll know that you have it correct because it should match up with our A triangle above it. So that always make sure, this is because I don't clip, that when I'm putting them right sides together, that I am making sure that I'm actually sewing the correct side. I've definitely accidentally twisted these the wrong way and sewed the wrong side.
Wait,
Okay, and same for this one here.
so let's talk about something. Get them.
And both of these I will be pressing down towards my A square. And you can see like my fabric, even though they're the same, they're not in the same direction. And I'm totally okay with that. Like I said before, everything's going to get moved around. So we want to make it look like a variety of different ways. Okay, and that is step 4. So now we're on step 5, and we are attaching these step 4s to the left of our step 2s. So it's going to look like this for each of them. The only difference why there is a figure 5.1 and 5.2, one of these we're going to press to the left and one of these we're going to press to the right. But we are still sewing our step 4 to the left side of both. So I'm going to put them right sides together, turn it towards me so I can match up the center, or the seams, I mean, and they will nest if you followed the pressing instructions. And then again, just matching up the long edges. Okay. And then the same here, put these right sides together, turn them. Just grabbing a couple more clips. And again, matching the center and the sides. So hopefully they don't shift too much on me. I am going to sew them at the same time.
Next. I put the 10 by 7. Yeah, I can little slide like that.
And the same thing here.
working, but you get the content to save yourself like this. To just
Okay, and so one of these we are pressing to the left towards our step 4. So that is going to be this one here. Oh, my seam lined up very nicely, so I'm so happy with that. And then for this one, we are pressing our seam to our step 2. So that's why I have kind of flipped it upside down the opposite way. And again, open this up. And I always press like where all my seams come together first, or where it's like bulkiest, and then lift and press out. Okay, so now I have 2 of them. The only difference is the way our seams are pressed. I'm just going to set them to the side for now. And so now for step 6, I need 2 of these. I'm only making 1 because I've already done a block. I need a small A triangle and a small B triangle. And put them right sides together. Again, they match up very, very nicely. Okay, and I am pressing my seam up to the left towards our fabric A. I just panicked for a second. I was looking at the instructions. Oh, actually, that's why. Because I am looking at the wrong one. I need to press it down towards my fabric B. I was looking at when I had did this half square triangle over here. All right, so our seam is going down towards our fabric B, which is this really pretty floral that I love. Okay. We still need this step for step 7. I need to take a large A rectangle and join it to the left here. So my A fabric should be touching my A fabric. I'm going to put them right sides together. Okay, and I am gently opening these to that left-hand side. Okay, and that is step 7. So now I need to put my step 7 on top, and underneath it, I'm going to add my 5.1. 5.1 has the seams pressed to the left. So that is this first one here that I had did. So you can see my seam here is to the left. So that is going to go underneath. And you can see that I only have the seam here that is going to match up because this is the larger rectangle. There's nothing matching here. So I'm actually going to put these right sides together like this, then turn it towards me just so I can see it. And that's so I can fold this back. If you did this correctly, your seams should nest, one going in each direction. And just making sure that I am clipping all the way across. Okay. Sometimes when I clip one side, I notice and I try to straighten it out.
All right, so I'm going to sew these together first. All right, and one thing I want to show you that I forgot to mention is this block here, this step 7, overhangs by a lot. And that's because I have a seam allowance here at 1/4 inch where this is one solid piece. So I just overhang them, and you can trim it. I just hide it in the seam allowance later on. And this is because I take my full 1/4 inch. So don't worry if you have a little bit of an overhang, it's normal. And so for this, we are pressing our seams down. So I'm going to press from the back. And then gently open these up. Oops, sometimes when I open them, the seams want to kind of like flip on themselves, and that's what's happening because there's thicker seams here. So I'm just going to press those centers first. And then sometimes I also give other places a press if they need it. And I'm going to move this up because now our last step is I need to take this section 5.2 and add it to the bottom. And we're doing that because I'm going to put it like this, right sides together, and you'll see my seams here are pressed to the right and my seam underneath is pressed to the left. So they should nest perfectly. And I do have 2 seams here matching up 3 different squares. So I'm just going to start on one side, gently fold this back, clip where my seams match up first. All right. Hopefully they didn't shift too much. I feel like every quilt I do, I get a little bit better about matching up my seams and making sure that they're not shifting or getting twisted back. And then these are also getting pressed towards the bottom and gently folding that open, not tugging on it, and then pressing. All right, so this is our 3B block, and you should have 2 of these. And now we are on our 3C. This one is our smallest one. Again, you're going to have 2. I'm making 1, so I'm cutting all of these in half. You can see that step 1 and 2 are both half square triangles. So I'm going to sew them both at the same time. So our first one is an A-B small triangle. So here's my A and B fabrics. And then my second one is an E-A. And so I need a small triangle E and a small triangle A. And this is just so I, again, waste less thread. I can chain stitch them, and because of a triangle, it's less likely that they're going to get sucked into my feed dog. And the same for this one here.
What? We got that too good. That's good. That happened.
And now I'm just clipping these apart. And for the first one, the A, B triangles, I am pressing down towards my B fabric. And the same thing here, I am pressing this one up towards my E fabric. Okay. And for step 3, I want my step 2, which is this one here on the left with my E in the top left. And I want my step 1 to the right with my B fabric in the bottom right. So my 2A fabric are touching. So I'm going to put them right sides together, just making sure that my edges are aligned before I start stitching. Okay, and my fabric is going to be pressed to the left here towards our EA half square triangle. Gently open that. Okay. And so that's step 3. I'm going to set it to the side. Now step 4, I need 2 half square triangles again. I need my F fabric, which are my ravens, and my E fabric, which are the vampire kitties. Again, putting them right side together. If you wanted, you could have even did sewed all 3 half square triangles at once. Sometimes when I'm doing stuff off camera, I will do that just to make my sewing time even quicker. But I like to go in order for those of you who like to follow along with me. Okay, and for this one here, we are pressing to the top right towards our S fabric. Gently opening it. And for our step 5, we are adding our E square to the bottom. Again, put those right sides together. You'll know you have it right because it's matched up with our other E triangle that we just sewed. And for this one, I will be pressing our seam allowances down. So now. It's too bad that it wasn't cut or shifted a little bit. It would have matched up almost perfectly the faces. And for step 6, I am adding a large A rectangle to the right. And so you can see this is kind of like what I was mentioning before, where this is going to be a little bit longer because this has a seam here. So you could line it up to an edge, or I just generally kind of center this. And then I'll hide those longer edges when I'm putting everything together for the final clue. Okay, and we are pressing our seams to the right here towards that large A rectangle. So gently opening them up. And you can see it's a little bit longer down here, so I'm going to show you how I hide that seam in, because we need to tape our step 3 and add it to the bottom. And we'll know that we did it correctly because all of our E fabric matches, and I have a center seam. So what I do is I'm going to put this right sides together. I am going to clip where the seams match first, line it up on the left hand side, and then here I'm just going to kind of gently pull this straight out, and I'll have a little bit, because the fabric is similar colors, you don't really see it. I'm not line matching it up to the edge because this edge overhung a little bit, so I'm just matching it so it's straight across with this side here. And so that's how I hide that extra fabric into the seam allowances.
This is it. I'm not there. What's supposed to be?
And this is going to get pressed up towards our larger section with the A rectangle. So just make sure this is aligned. Give it a nice press. And then gently open this up. All right, so this finishes our section 3C, and you should have 2 of them.
All right, so we have just finished up month 3. We have 3 different sections. We have our 3A section. We have our 3B section and our 3C section. Again, you should have 2 of each of these. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you're having so much fun. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you love the video. If you do, please give me a thumbs up or subscribe. And I'll see you next month for month 4. Enjoy. Bye.